Namaskar and welcome to Express News. First, the national news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicated the transformative Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla rail link, the USBRL, to the nation in Katra, marking a new chapter in India's quest for seamless connectivity. PM Modi visited an exhibition which was put up explaining the USBRL project. Prime Minister also interacted with workers of the project there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Chenab Railway Bridge, the world's highest rail arch bridge, marking a historic milestone in India's infrastructure journey. Prime Minister Modi was briefed about the Chenab Rail Bridge project upon arrival in Jammu and Kashmir. The architectural marvel, the Chenab Rail Bridge, is situated at a height of 359 meters above river, and it is the world's highest railway arch bridge. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Anji Khad Bridge in Katra, Jammu and Kashmir. This bridge is India's first cable-stayed rail marvel. Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off two Vande Bharat Express trains, one from Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Katra to Srinagar and another in the reverse direction. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with school children on board Vande Bharat train. He also interacted with members of the railway staff who are on the train in Katra. Prime Minister Modi addressed the gathering in Katra, Jammu and Kashmir. The Prime Minister called Operation Sindoor a turning point, saying it struck deep inside Pakistan, in fact, leaving terror camps in ruins. Prime Minister Modi said that Pakistan's terror strike on tourists was aimed at derailing peace, prosperity, and the booming tourism sector in the region. PM Modi also announced additional relief for families hit by cross-border shelling. Over 2,000 affected families will get increased aid, Rs 2 lakhs for severely damaged homes and Rs 1 lakh for partially damaged homes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend the G7 summit in Kananaskis, which is in Canada. Now this year, Canada is hosting the G7 Leaders Summit on June 15 to 17 in Kananaskis, which is in Alberta. The Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah inaugurated the Bharatiya Bhasha Anubhag, the Indian languages section, in New Delhi on Friday. The External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar hosted the foreign ministers of 4 Central Asian leaders at the 4th India-Central Asia Dialogue in New Delhi on Friday. In his opening remarks, Dr. Jai Shankar said that India's ancient cultural ties with Central Asia have blossomed in a modern dynamic partnership. An all-party delegation led by Shiv Sena MP Shrikant Shinde met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jai Shankar. The delegation briefed the Foreign Minister about their experiences. India's global outreach on Operation Sindoor is now in its final leg. The all-party delegation, led by the BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad, held a meeting with the members of the German Bundestag and think tanks in Berlin. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar arrived in Shimla on a 2-day visit to Himachal Pradesh. The Vice President will interact with researchers and faculty members at the Dr. Y.S. Parmar University of Horticulture and Forestry in Solan. India's Supreme Court has allowed the National Board of Examinations request to postpone the NEET PG 2025 examination to August 3. The exam was initially scheduled for June 15. The Commander-in-Chief of the Northern Army Command, Lieutenant General Prateek Sharma, visited Basantgarh, which is in Jammu, to review the security situation there. The General Prateek, he commended in fact the troops for their operational readiness towards towards fighting against terrorism. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami participated in the inaugural program of Shaurya Mahotsav in Chamoli. The event was organized in memory of Nayak Bhavani Dutt Joshi, who died during the 1962 India-China War. Let's get to the business news now. The Reserve Bank of India Governor Sanjay Malhotra on Friday announced the reduction of repo rate to 5.50% after the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. The RBI also projected that India's retail inflation for the current financial year would be 3.7% as against its April projection of 4%. The RBI governor said that the real GDP growth rate projected for this year 25-26 is at 6.5%, continuing with the earlier forecast. The central bank also reduced the cash reserve ratio by 100 basis points and said that it's going to release about 2.5 lakh crore rupees of bank funds in 4 stages between September and December. The Indian equity indices traded high. They jumped on Friday. At close, the Sensex had surged 741 points and settled at 82,183. The Nifty also soared 249 points. It closed at 25,000 on Friday. The Indian rupee ended 13 paise higher at 85.66 per dollar on Friday. Gold futures maturing on August 5 were priced at 97,842 per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for July 4 maturity stood at 105,460 rupees per kg on the MCX. Elon Musk's Starlink has got the regulatory approval in India, paving the way for rolling out its satellite internet services in the world's most populous country. Russia launched a barrage of missiles and drones across Ukraine on Friday, killing at least 4 people and damaging buildings in the capital, Kiev. The Ukrainian Air Force said that Russia attacked with ballistic missiles, cruise missiles and drones. The attack came after Russia vowed retaliation for the audacious Ukrainian drone assault. Ukrainian President Zelensky called on the US, Europe and other countries to ramp up pressure on Russia after it launched drone and missile attacks on Ukraine. US President Trump and the billionaire Elon Musk engaged in a public spat online. Trump targeted Musk's companies, their government subsidies. President Trump said that he was disappointed by Musk's public opposition to the sweeping tax cut and spending bill, while Musk said that without his support, Trump would never have won the election. Harvard University challenged Trump's move to bar foreign students from entering the United States and asked the judge to block it immediately pending further litigation. The Trump administration imposed sanctions on 4 International Criminal Court judges who have been involved in proceedings against Israel and the United States. The ICC called the move an attack on judicial independence. Several right-wing groups organized a pro-government rally outside Israeli Supreme Court in Jerusalem. Demonstrators gathered to support government's policy and judicial reform. Israeli military struck several sites in Beirut's southern suburbs that it said had ground facilities used by Hezbollah for drone production. Israel, in fact, posted a warning ahead of the strikes on X. The UN chief urged world leaders to keep alive two-state solution in the Israel-Palestine conflict, and he expressed his disappointment over US vetoes of the UN draft resolution demanding immediate ceasefire. Jurors in the film producer Harvey Weinstein's rape and sexual assault retrial began deliberations on Thursday, weighing the credibility of 3 accusers who say the former producer attacked them between 2002 and 2013. Russia has deployed 20 warships, including 4 armed with sea-based caliber cruise missiles for large-scale Baltic drills involving 3,000 troops, 25 aircraft and missile systems running parallel to NATO's Baltops 25 exercise. The French President Macron hosted Brazil's Lula da Silva, the President of Brazil, at the Élysée Palace in Paris on Thursday, celebrating bilateral ties. Lula pushed for support of the stalled EU-Mercosur trade deal, while Macron called for improvements first. Healthcare workers at Gajaran Hospital, which is in Argentina, they marched to the government house on Thursday demanding fair wages and better conditions, aimed at deepening the standoff with the government. Hundreds of members of religious and social groups marched in El Salvador. They are demanding the release of the jailed human rights activist and they're protesting for the return of metal mining. They're protesting against the return of metal mining recently approved by the Congress. Venezuela's President Nicolás Maduro accused Donald Trump of believing lies after new U.S. travel bans and increased pressure on Venezuela, calling for an end to the smear campaign. The IAEA chief, Rafael Mariano Grossi, led a team of inspectors to Damascus on Thursday, gaining immediate and unrestricted access to sites linked to Syria's past nuclear activities. South Korea's new president, Lee Jae-myung, attended a ceremony marking the country's 70th Memorial Day on Friday. He honored veterans at the ceremony and pledged support for the veterans. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir declared a state of emergency after deadly cattle raids killed hundreds amid clashes over scarce resources. The UN reports over 200 deaths in March and 80 more recently in Tonj County. Voters in Burundi's capital, Bujumbura, they cast ballots in elections set to strengthen the ruling party amid opposition bans and concerns over fairness. We're heading for a short break. Stay with us. You're watching Express News. News related to the weather. Floodwaters continue to impact Assam, with over 5.6 lakh people affected across 19 districts, despite a slight improvement in Morigaon, where 117 villages remain submerged. Shribhumi district faces severe disruption as homes and commercial areas remain inundated, highlighting the deepening crisis in flood-hit Assam. Members of a First Nation community in Manitoba were flown to Niagara Falls after wildfires intensified across northern and eastern Canada. In Niagara Falls, evacuees are adjusting to unfamiliar surroundings while grappling with trauma from the past as well as present fires. Many say that material losses can be replaced, but human lives obviously cannot. Farmers in northeast Syria were warning of severe losses as droughts and rising temperatures devastate wheat crops. Once the nation's breadbasket, the region now struggles with climate change and water scarcity. Some Syrian farmers have reported losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, blaming poor rainfall and soaring costs. Many warn that they may be forced to abandon their fields, raising fears of poverty and hunger. Residents of Falelung rural municipality in Nepal's Panchthar, they face renewed hardships as the monsoon begins, raising fears of floods and landslides in the area. In Nepal, last year's heavy rains washed away 4 key bridges, cutting off villages and displacing many. Efforts to rebuild infrastructure continue. Guatemala ordered evacuations near the Fuego volcano after increased ash and lava emissions. The volcano erupted on Wednesday, sending lava flows up to 7 kilometers. Ash columns from the Fuego volcano reached 6,000 meters, triggering an orange alert and sheltering over 500 people. Activity may last 40 hours, disrupting air travel and suspending classes in Sat Ate Pegias. News related to culture now. Muslim pilgrims, they performed Eid al-Adha prayers and Tawaf. This includes walking 7 times around the Kaaba and Mecca's Grand Mosque as the Hajj pilgrimage nears its end. Palestinians performed special morning prayers at Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque on Eid al-Adha, marking the end of the Hajj pilgrimage in Makkah. Muslims in Indonesia's Bogor joined nationwide Eid al-Adha prayers on Friday, though many noted fewer animal sacrifices this year amid rising unemployment and economic hardship. A Canaletto masterpiece, once owned by Britain's first Prime Minister Robert Walpole, heads to auction at Christie's in London on July 1. It's expected to fetch over £20 million and possibly set a new record for the artist. Londoners dream big ahead of the record £208 million Euro Millions draw, and this is the largest in UK history, with plans to buy homes, quit jobs or leave the country as ticket sales surge. Construction of the first cable car in Mongolia's Ulaanbaatar is expected to finish by December 2025. A French firm has delivered all equipment and most foundation work is done. The line will run from Yarmag to Kharkhorin market with 19 pillars and 2 stations. The trial runs, they begin in December, aiming to ease the city's traffic congestion. Mexico's National Museum of Anthropology has reopened after staff shortages. The 1940 founded institution recently won Spain's 2025 Princess of Asturias Award for Concord. Rio de Janeiro's Christ the Redeemer was lit in green on Thursday to mark World Environment Day as part of a week-long awareness campaign by the sanctuary. Sri Lanka marked World Environment Day on Thursday, highlighting the growing human-elephant conflict threatening people and wildlife. Entertainment news now. Grammy Award winner Beyoncé brought the rodeo Chitlin circuit to London, paying homage to black contributions to the country music as she began the Cowboy Carter tour in Europe. Sony Music India and Los Angeles-based company, the Hello Group, launched THG India, a joint venture aimed at providing Indian artists with comprehensive management services. Singer and Grammy Award winner Sabrina Carpenter's new single, Man-Child, co-produced by Jack Antonoff, released worldwide amidst a short and sweet world tour. The American writer Stephen King and the director Jack Bender, they joined forces for a new TV thriller, The Institute. It's based on King's best-selling 2019 novel by the same name, and the show premiered in London on Thursday. K-pop band BTS's management company Big Hit Music, the share comeback plans for members RM, V Jimin as well as Jungkook, Jungkook's post-discharge greetings. Acclaimed Taiwanese filmmaker Ang Lee is set to direct a new film, Old Gold Mountain, and it's an adaptation of the Pam Zhang's debut novel, which was named How Much of These Hills is Gold. Actress and film producer Viola Davis is known for The Help and is set to star in the conspiracy thriller. It's a film called Ali Clark. Harry Potter star Tom Felton is set to make his Broadway debut in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, reprising his role as Draco Malfoy. Hollywood actor Tom Cruise earned a Guinness World Record for performing the most burning parachute stunts in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Searchlight Pictures announced the sequel of their 2019 horror film titled Ready or Not, Here I Come, and set to release on April 10 next year. The esteemed American actor Coleman Domingo, designer Paul Tezebel, and the TV personality Sean Bankhead, they will be honored at the Native Son Awards. This is going to happen June 11th. Singer and actor Jennifer Lopez's Kiss of the Spider-Woman trailer, it released on Thursday. Now this movie is set for release on October 10th this year. The Oscar-nominated actor Samuel Jackson is set to star in Tulsa King's spin-off Nola King as part of the Taylor Sheridan universe. The Indian actor Shah Rukh Khan and the singer Arijit Singh, they joined Ed Sheeran in the music video of Sapphire, which was released on Friday, and Sheeran's new single is part of the upcoming album Play, which will release in September this year. Singers Adnan Sami and Asha Bhosle, their song Aao Na is featuring Aisha Singh and Avinash Mishra, as released on Friday. Let's get to the sports news. In blockbuster contest, world number one Jannik Sinner will face the reigning Olympic champion Novak Djokovic in the semi-finals of the French Open on Friday. The former world number one Djokovic is just 2 wins away from becoming the first player to win a record 25 Grand Slam singles trophies. The world number one Arina Sabalenka, she ended 4-time champion Iga Swiatek's run at the French Open and setting up a title clash with Coco Gauff on Saturday. The world number one in chess, Magnus Carlsen, will face the Indian Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi in the deciding 10th round of the Norway chess tournament in Stavanger, which is in Norway. The world champion D. Gukesh is also taking part in that tournament, and he will aim to win his maiden Norway chess title when he takes on the American Grandmaster Fabiana Caruana in the final round on Friday. The Indian ace javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra is set to compete at the Paris Diamond League. It's scheduled to take place on the 20th of June. The Indian men's pair of Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty were knocked out of the Indonesian Open after losing in the quarterfinals on Friday. India's decorated leg spinner Piyush Chawla announced his retirement from all forms of cricket on Friday. South African Rob Walter has been appointed as New Zealand's cricket coach in the wake of Gary Steed's decision to stand down after 7 years in charge. Arsenal star defender Gabriel Magalhaes has extended his contract with the North London club until 2029. Spain's teenage sensation Lamine Yamal led his country to a thrilling 5-4 win over France and take them now to the 3rd consecutive Nations League final. Brazil were held to a goalless draw against Ecuador in the 2026 South American World Cup qualifiers in Guayaquil City. Uzbekistan qualified for the 2026 World Cup for the first time after a goalless draw against the United Arab Emirates. South Korea also booked a spot in the 2026 World Cup with a 2-0 win over Iraq in Basra. Ali Olwand scored a hat-trick against Oman to help Jordan book a berth in the 2026 World Cup for the first time. That's all we have in Express News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.